Okay. So what I'm looking at here is the plugin studio, which is separate from, this is for BrainDrive Builders, and it's separate from the BrainDrive front end for owners, right?
Correct. Now, this is going to get incorporated after our meeting, only because that's the first step for us moving towards this becoming a massive plugin. And since we're aiming at developers, it should be integrated first anyways. So that's going to be our first step. But right
Okay.
now for development, it's a very focused development. So it started out separate. But the back end is all the original.
Okay. So my first reaction
Yep.
is there's a lot going on here. However,
Yep.
I also understand that there's a lot more to do here. And also the person that's going to be looking at this screen is going to be our most sophisticated
Correct.
constituency.
Yes, this will either be Aaron right off the gate, out of the gate, and he's used to IDEs and such like that, or this is going to be Katie after she gets used to the system and has watched a video or two.
Okay, so I love this, how when you hover over these things, not only do things come up, but they're very snappy.
Yep, that's what like I said, I've tried. This is as polished. This is pretty polished compared to only 1 week, but we'll get better, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that one needs.
That one didn't. Okay. Well,
yeah. I'm wondering if can you put a little eye right here that links to something or opens up a chat or something like that? I'm just wondering, like, if people want to know what this means,
Okay. A link to a page that has more information.
Actually, I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory.
Well, I figure at the very least, it's like if you're a developer, you'll probably get most of this, and otherwise, there's going to be a video to go down this entire screen. There's going to be a web page to go, but on this could be a link to here's documentation for this page.
Yeah, I definitely think the forum, should be a default link for every page. Okay. So another first reaction thing is I thought this was a blank page. Like I was going to ask you if like there's supposed to be something here, and it wasn't until I did a little scroll that I see now that like this is where the chats are going to show up.
Yeah, your screen is not as large as mine. So in my screen, I can see the entire page. In your screen, because it's smaller, so I probably should, if this, whatever page is going to be on there for, like, say, the first one any user sees, just for their first introduction to this, I will make it something that's much smaller and can be seen on any page.
Well, I'm also wondering, can this be made responsive?
Okay, yes and no. Okay, it can if you go down to the bottom. Okay, go to the right there. You see, let's see, go to the message one, which is in the middle you thought was empty. Up one. There you go, that one. Click it. Now go see bottom right. There's that little caret key.
This?
Nope, go up now.
I see this.
Yep. You can actually, there you go. You can size that however you want the user to visualize, and then the responsiveness will take over. That's the first thing. Second thing, on the toolbar in the middle, you see the display icons?
Yeah.
Okay. You can select which mode you're watching. So if you click that.
Well, this I understand.
Yep.
But that's a little different from what I'm saying, right? So this I understand to be, this is how I want whatever I'm building on this page to look when the user of the BrainDrive.
Yes.
When BrainDrive users, because we'll just call this the plugin studio. That's fine. Or maybe developer studio. I don't know. But anyway, we can have a different name for that.
Yeah.
I totally get that.
Okay.
That's what this is.
So I think you're referring to the responsiveness of the internal plugin, which I wasn't worried about it when I was doing this. I wasn't.
That's fine. I'm just wondering if that's possible.
Yes, because that comes down to the responsiveness of the internal part of the plug-in itself, like where you type your own message. Inside there, I haven't gone through the guts of, okay, I'm going to make you this responsive to do certain things. I was worried about when you place a plugin, it's going to be where it needs to be as it moves.
Yeah, 100%. But I just think in terms of like just modern design principles and user experience, I would expect everything we do to be responsive.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I start doing the real plugins, that's already on my list to
That's
make sure.
fine.
Yep.
Again, this isn't like I think it should be responsive right this minute. It's just, I'm trying to look at it and anticipate future things. All right. So this I understand. Create new page.
Yep.
Rename current page.
Yep.
Delete current page. LLM chat test. I don't know what this is.
Okay. That is the name of the page that I put there. Okay. That's all it is me. I was designing a chat page, so I put a new one here. In fact, if you want, let's do this. Go through a plus. Hit the plus. Nope. That's the drop down. Hit the plus right there. There you go. Put a name of the page in there. Create enter. Boom. Now you have your first page. You can take any of the plugins off to your left. In fact, we'll go with theme monitor because that'll show you. Okay, you can go.
Okay, hold on. I want you to do this, but I wanted again both of us to have the non-walkthrough experience.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
How do I get back to where I was before? Go here.
Yep.
Okay. So just okay. I know what this is.
Yep.
I know what this is. Okay.
That is just natural responsiveness. It's custom. In other words, as you move your browser around, you'll be able to see it move through different phases.
Okay. This all normally when I'm building websites and stuff, I don't usually see a tablet.
I only put it to be complete because of the fact that it's a different type of screen.
Okay, so I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm again just giving you my
your observation.
If I was opening, if I signed up for this and I was opening it up, this is what okay. So and I wouldn't have no idea what this is.
Yeah, that's for Aaron Wood.
I know what it is now that you've said it to me, but you're not going to be on the call.
Exactly. No, that's what I said.
If you were on the call, like we want this to be as intuitive to the user as possible. Okay. I don't know what this is. Configure plugin, that makes sense. View page JSON, that makes sense. Remove plugin. I guess what I would be confused about with this is like I would think if I click this delete button, it's going to delete the whole page.
Well, no, that's why I have the left side is for dealing with the page. The right side deals with the plugins.
But the plugins are going to be like when I drag one in, right?
Okay, I can and if you when you drag one in, like if you highlight the selector option. Okay, you can't put it because that's a plugin you're putting on a plugin. Go in between the two select options.
All right, hold on. Let's just keep going through.
Yep.
This is all good. Select a device mode to copy layout. I don't know what that is either.
Okay. Yeah. Some of this will need.
Don't tell me. We're just making notes here. It's fine.
Nope.
This is all good. I know what this is.
Yep.
I don't know what this is, but I'm also very curious and I'm leaning in. I mean, I know what it is because we've talked about it, but like if I was looking at this without having us talked at all. I don't know what this is, but the fact that it's called a persona, I'm curious in the right direction. Okay. So I just one thing I think here, because I would just select something here. Right. And I think if we select Jimmy, whatever the default persona is, we should just have the chat start and it should say, hi, I'm Jimmy, your executive assistant that's programmed to do this, this, and this. How can I help you today? Or whatever. If it's a girlfriend, like, hey, sexy, or whatever.
Exactly. Nope. I'm not disagreeing there.
All right. So, cool. All right. Okay. Until you told me you could drag these, I think that's really cool, by the way, but I wouldn't have known that I could drag these things. And also plugin toolbox. This makes it feel to me like this stuff is stuff that I use to build, like it's a tool, but it's not actually. It's like it's kind of if these plugins were here when we launched BrainDrive Studio, then these are actual plugins. They're not really tools that I'm using as a developer. They're plugins.
Correct.
Okay. So I think that that's a bad name, but again,
Okay.
also I understand.
Oh, true. I see you're okay. It took me a minute. I was like, I understand what you're saying right now, because the reference of plugin toolbox makes you think that this is for building a plugin versus this is really a page toolbox, because this is how these are plugins that you can put on a page.
Well, they're not when I'm in BrainDrive Studio.
Yep.
I'm in total, like I'm in developer mode,
Yep.
right? So when I see toolbox, I'm thinking developer tool,
Yep.
but that's not what this is. This is default plugins.
Yeah. Which will be expanded upon because as you add more plugins.
So I think you could
yep.
just call that plugins.
Okay. Yeah, but nope. Yep.
Okay. And then here, I think a little piece of text that just says, or maybe like an I or something,
yeah.
Actually input component for LLM interactions. Oh, this is cool and super snappy. A lot of times that takes a little while to come up, Okay, that is cool. I love this. This solves so many problems that this stuff comes up. Just again, this is just a brainstorm idea, but I think even though it happens, and I think it should happen anywhere you run your mouse over, we should probably put a little eye there just so it draws people's mouse there, because otherwise I kind of thought these were going to be drop downs. I don't know why, but it may be the toolbox name.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right, what else?
Go ahead and type your message there and press enter so you can see it.
Do I need to select a model?
No, because I don't have any of that implemented for this.
Wow, that was fast. Here's a buffer response to your prompt.
Okay, that's not a real AI though. Okay, number one, that is just a testing mock AI service that's running in the background.
But this is going from my computer across the internet to whatever you have doing that response, right? I mean, that was fast as shit. Do you think it's going to be that fast when it's an AI model?
It's going to be pretty close depending upon the actual AI. So if you pick a huge AI model that's taking you 14 seconds to inference.
But if I'm Grok, if I'm hooked into Grok's API, it should be as fast as Grok.
Yes, exactly. As you can tell, I have very little weight in between from A to B. I'm trying to make everything snappy as possible.
Ooh, that looks good with the black, doesn't it?
Yep. That.
Oh boy.
People don't know what they're being hit by.
Yeah. All right. So other questions.
Yep.
What's the interaction between the model and the persona?
Okay. Well, we had this discussion before, and in my head, I always have both. However, at the end of the day, I can see a page with just a persona, and the persona has a model tied to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because for me, the persona encompasses the model. Like, otherwise it's not a persona. It's like you're switching intelligence, you're switching brains out of the persona,
Yeah, and that you see, me and this is probably the difference right there. Me as a developer, because I'm always developing different personas, I want to play to find out what model appeals to that persona best to get the best results. But
you may be able to, I agree with that actually, now that you say it, from a developer standpoint, it makes a lot of sense to have the model selection.
But as a user, you just want to select Jimmy. It takes care of the work for you. And
correct.
The beauty of this system, we do both.
And it would be nice. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, 100%. So I think it makes a lot of sense to, how do I edit this? Like if I want to change Jimmy's personality.
There you go. Hold on. We have that capability because you already, let's see, have it selected. So it's blue. No, not Jimmy. So you want the plugin itself. Okay, whichever plugin you pick, you select it, and then
I don't know what plugin I have on the page right now.
Okay, go to the right side of Jimmy.
Okay.
and select it. Yeah, there you go. And then now you see the gearbox.
This?
Yep. Select that. Boom.
Okay. Okay. Again, just I'm giving you real time.
Yep.
And I don't know, like none of this is like
Intuitive.
instructions to go do anything. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm just giving you.
Yep.
I would expect that the fact that I have to select this
Yeah.
and then come up here to settings is unlike any other UX I've experienced with like website builders and stuff.
Well, because most of the time when you have, okay, they are kind of, I don't know, because I don't play with most of the, I do developing stuff. And in developing stuff, you select the control you're working on, and then you get to the properties. And this is the properties. So for a developer, this is normal. Maybe not for a WebEx development, though. I didn't think from that aspect.
Is it, would it make a difference to have the settings on this? Like on the
What do you mean?
plugin?
As in the gearbox or whatever, or
this right here, this
yeah,
configure plugin.
yeah,
Basically, whatever I'm doing with a plugin,
yep,
to have this series of things
yep,
on the
line up.
plugin itself.
Let me play. The only reason why I did not do that was the fact of screen real estate. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
because it was like I already took up 2 with 1 how to resize it, and then B how to move it.
I really don't think that this is like a big deal. You know what I mean? This is more of just like,
once you know how it works, it's very intuitive.
It's very intuitive once you know how it works.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. A lot of this is just going to be solved with a 5 to 10 minute video.
I hear you, Dave, but at the same time,
not everybody's going to watch the video first.
Well, our default should always be no one's going to watch a video.
Yeah, I know.
We're certainly going to have tons of videos, right, on every single inch of this, right? So anyhow,
I almost hold on. I might have
also understand at this stage that like what's hard is like actually getting this so you can select it and like mess with the settings. You know, I got it. I understand.
Oh no, but what we could do is this: when I get this integrated into BrainDrive, when the first time you come to this screen, and it'll have a little tracker whether you've been through we'll call it the plugin studio tutorial. The first time you get on there, it will come up with a little how-to notes of what's on the screen, what it does, and then you can exit out of it. So that no matter what, even if you didn't read the documentation, you didn't watch the video, when you go to that screen, it'll say, would you like to take a moment and learn what's on the screen? How does that sound?
I definitely want to have that, but I don't like, and I'm having an allergic reaction to using that as a solution to UX.
Oh, yeah. Well, at some point, there's going to have to be an educator.
I understand.
Nobody's ever done this, so it's like this is going to be new at some point.
100%. I always, Nirvana, can we both agree that Nirvana is, there doesn't have to be a video?
Correct.
And then can we also both agree that we will never get to that Nirvana probably?
Okay.
You know, so I always just want to start with, because you got to bang your head against this stuff, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Oh, no, I've been banging my head.
Yeah, I know you have. I get it. I also understand that I'm coming in and not seeing the...
No, which is also a perspective.
I understand enough about what it takes to do something like this to understand how much work it takes to get here. All right. Cool. So, all right. So Jimmy, how do I change his persona? I go here. I select Jimmy first. Select persona.
Yep. Now, okay, we
and
do not have...
persona is a plugin or no?
No, because we don't have personas in yet. We are just selecting a persona at this point. That stuff comes when we do the actual plugins, I believe.
Well, I'm saying in the future, persona is a plugin or no?
Yeah, no. Persona is a plugin, which is it's a back-end plugin. And this is nothing more like selecting a model. It goes out, it checks Olama, what models do you have available, and that's how it feeds the drop down. That's going to be in there. You can also have the ability to force a list. So if you want your users, if you're like an admin, you want your users only to see X models, not all of them, you'll have that ability too. This is more the plugin studio, getting that to work, and then we're going to get into plugins next week and the week after.
Okay, but I understand what you just said.
Yep.
But in terms of like how I should be thinking about what a persona is going to be, like, will there be something over here that says persona that I drag onto the page, or no?
No, because that will be there'll be another page, build a persona, and that's where you will build out Jimmy. And then when you put the plugin on your page that says select a persona, it just automatically selects by the personas that you have available.
Say that one more time.
Okay, there will be a page for building a persona. Does that make sense right there? So you will have a blank page, and it'll say, hey, do you want to build a persona? And you say, yeah, I want to build Jimmy, or hey, I want to build Jane. How about that? And then you'll select, here's my system prompt for Jane. Here's all the parameters I want to set for Jane. And here's the model I want for Jane, because I'm going to start testing with Jane. And then you save it. And then when you drop the plugin that says right here, that's the selector, it will say, hey, do you want to select personas from this dropdown? And you select yes, because that's the dropdown for personas. And then it will automatically populate for you with all your personas.
Okay, I can tell by the way that you explain that you've thought about this deeply and have a good solution, but it's hard for me to envision.
Yes, because it's like we still have 2 more weeks of this development to go.
Fine. I'm not expecting any of that. This is great. I mean, I'm seeing the progress, so I'm not disappointed by any stretch of the imagination, and this is cool. I'm excited. All right, so when I go to let's go to where you tried to take me. Okay, so I'm gonna create a new page. I created a new page. I'm on Dave's page. Okay, so this is the default. Like, we may have a page that's already set up as an example, but like this is the like default starting mode for someone that knows what they're doing, basically.
Exactly. Right? Now,
okay.
Let me explain one thing before you get more further down the road. Okay. Where you have Dave's page and you have the 3 little displays there.
Yeah.
One is green. That is the one you're currently on, number 1. And number 2, if you have a green display, it means you have built a layout for that device. So you have a visual indicator of telling you what devices you have built a layout for. Does that make sense?
It does. It definitely makes sense.
Because I could tell even in my test one, I was like, what one, if I was working on something, have I did a mobile page for X? And I was like, I'd have to go physically check through 3 steps to do that, when it could just be a visual indicator to tell me, do I have one?
Got it. Okay.
So cool. You're on Dave's page now.
I'm on Dave's page, and I'm on the desktop version of Dave's page.
Yep.
Okay.
So let's just throw a theme monitor on the page.
Okay. Monitor and display the current theme state.
Yep.
What does that mean?
This is a test plugin. And when I was building the bridges for how to validate communication between services and a plugin, because there's a large gap, or I'll call it it's a Grand Canyon sized gap between the two. And so in order for a plugin means it has to be decoupled from the main application, and this validates that theory with code. Follow so far?
No. So, say that one more time.
So let's drag the theme monitor over there. Oh, I think you went on to there you go. Whoa.
Let me refresh.
Because I was playing with it.
Oh, my page went away. Maybe I didn't save it.
Oh no, when you refresh, it could, because there's no saving right now. Not until we get to the other stuff.
So let's do new page, Dave's page.
Did that little bug creep back in?
Okay, and then now I'm throwing theme monitor over. Okay, there we go.
Okay, there you go. Okay, now what this plugin does, it actually communicates with the actual application from the plugin and checks which type of theme are you running, and it does that without a direct call. That's what a bridge does. Are you following the concept?
Say it one more time.
Okay, a plugin has to be completely decoupled from a main application. Does that make sense so far?
A plugin has to be completely decoupled from a main application.
Yep.
Would another way to say that be they need to operate completely independently so they can be like a Lego piece?
Correct.
Okay, I get that.
Correct. Okay. So in order to do that, you have to also be able to communicate with the parent application through a structured set of communications. And that is in techno terms called a bridge.
And that bridge would be the equivalent to any Lego piece is designed to this specification so you can configure the Lego set however you want.
Exactly. And this way, when I'm doing a video and I'm teaching developers or anybody who wants to watch it how to build a plugin, there's a set standardized way to do it. And this is how you communicate with the application. So I've already built like the API, or let's say you want to check what the theme is. Because if it's a dark theme, you want to do one thing. And if it's a light theme, you want to do another one just because you're different. You will be able to validate, hey, what theme are you guys showing today? We're showing the dark theme, and it will change according to that without you doing anything extra. Following so far?
Okay, so I got that this needs to be decoupled from the main application, meaning it needs to be a standalone Lego piece and then I got the bridge, which is it needs to be able to connect to other Lego pieces.
Yep. Now, if you go, okay, sorry, go ahead.
I'm missing the third thing. So I understand that what you're saying here is, as an example, if someone wants their plugin to show up on dark theme.
Yep. Or just do something weird. It doesn't matter what. The fact is, the application and the plugin has to have an established communication route without ever being compiled together because they're Lego pieces. We made them separately. Does that make sense? This means like if you create a plugin in somewhere else, your plugin will be able to work with our application because all we care about is the communication part. And we know how to communicate with each other because that is standardized.
Give me an example of something weird.
Okay, let's use LLM calls. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay. If you're using a plugin, you do not have to do all the coding of how to do an LLM call. All you have to do is access the bridge to do it. And you tell the bridge, I want to communicate with this model. Here's my message. And I'll sit here and wait for the response back.
Okay, so the bridge is more than just a standard set of Lego configuration things. It's also like the communication layer between the Lego pieces and how they talk and work with each other.
Yep. So this bridge, which is basically a sample of the entire bridge, because you've already seen the other one, you didn't know it. If you go up to on the right side of Plugin Studio and simply select the theme selector, right? Plugin Studio, the name, go up above. There you go. Select that one. Boom. You notice how it changes the plugin?
Yes.
Okay. That's because the communication route on the bridge, if you change the theme, it's going to let all the plugins know we've changed the theme. We're now doing this. And this plugin in its own code says when you change the theme, I'm going to change the icon and I'm going to print dark because that's what theme you're on now. And it does it with
this is a head trip, man.
This is why people don't do plugin architecture, because you have to fucking be able to think of all this shit.
Yeah. This is a head trip. All right, so I'm developing this plugin.
Yep.
And I want to, I think I'm confused because of the theme and the bridge, right? The bridge, the bridge I understand is a communication
Yep.
layer that saves you from having to
code an entire theme selector concept. The only thing you now have to do is.
So just let me make sure I
Yep.
understand. The theme monitor is not the bridge concept that you're talking about. This is just one example of
Yes.
bridge concept.
Yeah. Would you like to see the other one real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Switch the page to what was it? The LLM chat page. Or LLM chat test. There you go. Yep. Okay. If you go down to where type in a message, what this is going to do is when you type hello, it's going to send through the bridge an API call. And it's telling it we're doing an API call to this LLM, and here's our message. And when it does it, it gets all the way to the API service. And right now there's mock data in there, but it gets to that side and it goes, okay, we don't have an LLM to talk to, but I do have this default message to give you in return. And it gives the default message and it says, hey, I'm the AI, here's my message, and it displays it like as if you were chatting. So that default message is not coming from the plugin. It's coming from the application on the API side. Does that make sense yet?
I'm appreciating and understanding, I think, the significance of the bridge, right?
Yes.
Because the reason why the bridge is significant is because it saves you a ton of development work that you would otherwise have to do.
Yes, because if you every page that you involved that was talking to an LLM or an AI, it doesn't matter which one, every plugin developer would have to recode that wheel every time. Instead, on our system, all you have to do is say, hey, I want to talk to this AI. Here's my message, and I'm going to sit here and wait. That's all they got to do. And
I'm just thinking. Give me a second.
Yep, no problem.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to get to. All right. All right. So I came to the. Let me go back to the theme page, or I got to set it.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So new page.
Oh, you just it might it might already be there. Because if you did not refresh, go up onto this LLM chat page. There you go. Yep, you're still there.
Okay. So, okay. So,
don't worry. This shit's advanced.
Without the bridge. So I get that what this is showing is that when I change that when I change light to dark, the plugin automatically changes light to dark, right?
Yes. Yep.
This is what this example is displaying, is a simple example of this bridge working, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. So I understand that.
Yep.
And would it be accurate to say then that if this bridge wasn't here, I would have to code in, like, when someone clicks this thing, like, and turns it to dark, like, that's what this means, and blah blah blah.
You would yes, and you would no longer have a plugin system because you would have to hard code the acknowledgement of what exists outside the plugin because you have no method of communication anymore. You have to actually look at the theme service which exists in the main app, and then you in essence have open web UI.
Okay, so I get I get this enough at this stage. I mean, this
Yep.
is a head trip, man. I mean, this is like, it's like my mind is like, it's like the Matrix screen or the Mission Impossible
Yep.
shit on the screen, you know. So I think that that shows that I kind of get the significance of it,
Yep.
but you can also understand why this is a little head trippy for me, and especially because I'm not a developer.
Yeah, exactly. This is a head trip. Okay. Developers know what plugin systems are, but they don't do them because of the fact of you have to anticipate and account for this kind of architecture from the word go. And you ask me why people don't do this. This is why.
So when a developer sees this, what is your expectation, right? When they see this, what do you think is going to be going through their head?
They're going to be like, holy fuck, I don't have to do this. And I can create a web application so easily now. Because they don't have to worry about contacting an LLM anymore. They don't have to worry about coding all the pieces because we have plugins already and we have an examples of what to do. They just have to do the bare minimum of what their focus is when they wanted to create X page.
And they're going to be really excited about that because it's going to save them a shitload of work.
Think of this plugin concept as a franchise. Okay, if you want to start a new restaurant, you have to build everything from name brand, all of it. But if you buy a McDonald's, the only thing you have to do is get the people and everything in McDonald's. And you have brand, the equipment, the logo, everything done for you. That's what this does.
What would someone say that looks at this and is like, oh, I don't like this is a plugin system. I don't like it.
I've never met anybody. I'm dead serious. Like I'm dead serious. It's like there's the people that don't like plugins are the ones that have to code them. And literally, because you have to take into consideration so much shit. It's like, and even like the AI, I can't tell you the number of times the AI got lost in the fact of it was like, you want to do X, and it's always like, okay, we do X like this, and it's like, no, we can't because we're in a plugin architecture. We have to be decoupled the entire time. It's like it's like it's a head trip just coding it because you have rules to remember.
And you're confident that you can go down this matrix rabbit hole and like see it all?
Look at where we're at. The hard part's done. I'm telling you right now, it's like everything else now is in my head is like, this is fucking easy now. The hard part is done. This works. I can communicate outside the plugin. It's like, hey, today is big.